when you look back at the way that game unfolded, and then the fact that, they had the lead and they go in the half in the locker room and you can hear them through the wall celebrating and over there like having the time of their lives thinking that they got you beat. How much of a motivator is that, man? I know as a player that would have driven you crazy, right?
It was awesome. And I'll be honest with you, some of us were a little shell-shocked, but I made sure everything was silent. And I said, listen,
Right.
listen. We made them listen to them celebrate, play music, and do whatever it was that they were doing over there. And I think that added a little more fuel to our fire.
What is it about this? I mean, so your team has shown this ability to really get it going offensively and get on these runs and everything, but other times it's a struggle to get going. Why do you suppose it is that there's kind of it feels like there's a switch that gets flipped at some point or the other?
Yeah, and it's part of the growing process. It's nerves, right? I look at myself all the time, my messaging,
right.
making sure we keep the main thing, making sure we don't make things bigger than what they are. And that's why I downplay a lot of times. And you hear me say every week, we have a big game. Why? Because it's the next one.
Right.
So we're going to continue to dig at the details and work on that piece that's in between the ears so that our guys can relax and play fast and free all the time.
So when people talk about great, passing combos and stuff around college football, you don't often get to Quentin Hayes and Jihad Marks. But, boy, this last weekend, Matt, they were tearing it up. Boy, Jihad's really kind of come into his own, and suddenly, he's being found down the field for big plays.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and I'm so glad that once again, I've said it multiple times, I want the rest of the world to see what I get to see on a daily basis. I've seen this before. I've seen it in practice, and I'm just so glad that we're getting a glimpse. The rest of the world's getting a glimpse of what I get to see on a regular basis, and it's so much more. There's so many other guys that can be at that level.
So here we are getting ready now, for the 10th game of the season, and you still going strong with the two-quarterback system. And, as much as some people say that, it all depends on who those quarterbacks are, both as people and as players and as teammates. And in this case, it's proven to be a strength rather than a detriment.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. The old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. Well, these guys are disproving that theory. But it's because of the human beings. It's because of, Quentin Hayes and Kobe Tompkins. It's because they genuinely like each other. They genuinely care for each other, and they care about this team. So anytime you have people who care about something other than themselves and it's bigger than themselves, you got a chance.
Let's talk about Senior Day. Obviously, it was Senior Day, even though you got a couple of, you one home game left anyway. But Senior Day, and every class is meaningful. A lot of these guys that are seniors this year were part of the season that was so tough a couple of years ago, were part of the transition when you got here, kind of an uncertain time for players, certainly. And what do you think of this class, and what are the things that stand out for you when you look at this class of seniors?
Well, I'm very thankful for the guys sticking with us. It would have been very easy to leave after the first year. It would have been very easy to say, hey, we're not coming back. Because a lot of these guys have, they graduated, and so they are graduates in graduate courses. So the fact that they're sticking by our side and we have the chance to better ourselves in what we did last year and certainly the first year, they're just continuing to add bricks to this foundation that we're building, a long-lasting program that everyone can be happy about.
Well, it was an unforgettable day at Johnson-Haygood Stadium last Saturday for that game. Let's shift now ahead to Ole Miss, and everybody knows kind of what these games are. You don't approach any game any differently, certainly. You understand the dynamics are a little bit different. What benefits are there for the program? And obviously, you're looking to go out there and obviously make a respectable showing and, give them as good a fight as you can. Heck, hang around for 4 quarters, all that stuff. But just talk about the benefits to the program of these games.
Well, there's so many benefits, and there's benefits to everything that we do. But the benefit that sticks out, I'm going to talk from a player perspective. Most of our players growing up wanted to play at the highest level possible.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they're with us. And that's a good thing, and they're right where they're supposed to be. But they still always have it in the back of their mind. Could I have played in the SEC? Could I have played, at that level? And so some of our guys will get the chance to answer that question. And I'm so glad that we had Clemson last year, right?
Right.
I can take from that and you utilize that in the messaging this week. week and talk about some of the things we'll need to do to have an opportunity to be in this game in the fourth quarter and ultimately try to win.
Yeah, the dynamics of the sport, other than on the field, are changing so much almost by the minute these days. And, of course, with the 9-game schedules now that are going to happen, in these P4 conferences, if you will, these games are going to be a little bit harder to come by. How much do you work ahead on that kind of stuff to try to keep as many as you can?
They're definitely going to be hard to come by. Myself and our athletic director, Art Chase, we're working on scheduling. We have games scheduled out to 2035 right now, so we're constantly looking for these types of opponents. It also serves a financial reward to the institution and the athletic department as well. So, we understand that aspect of it too.
Give me a couple of keys. Obviously, again, different type of game, but give me a couple of keys for you guys. And, hey, this, of all the weeks to go fly around and play free, why not today?
Absolutely, and that was part of the messaging to the staff, right? So one of the things I did today was message and channel and get on the same page with the staff on what it takes to win.
Right.
And we have to be process-driven. We got a little bit away from that dealing with VMI and Furman, but it's about the process. So we're going to focus on the process. Offensively, we have to secure the ball. We have to shorten the game. We're gonna snap that ball with 1 or 2 seconds left on the play clock every chance we get. Ball security. And when we have a chance to make a play, we have to make it. Defensively, we can't give up the big play, and we have to create turnovers.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We haven't had them in a while. Well, we had one big one, but we haven't had them in buckets the way we've done in the past. So we have to come up with turnovers and special teams in these games right here. If your offense is playing well, your defense is playing well, special teams has typically been the spot where these people have been able to blow it out the water. So we have to be really good on special teams. We got one of the best punters in the country. We got to make sure their return man doesn't touch the ball. And the same with kicking, too. When we kick the ball, we have to populate the ball, have hats around the ball, and not let them get anything.
Yeah, their whole style of play, too. You got to look out for any kind of trick play, anything. They might throw the kitchen sink at you. You never know.
They will. I mean, Lane Kiffin, the last time he played a SoCon opponent, he beat Furman 76-0. The year before that, the conference champ Mercer, he beat Mercer 73-7. This guy doesn't care. I have a few friends that are on the staff, so I do have the inner workings of how they think and their mentality. And if he gets the chance to hang 100 points, he will.
Wow. Well, we appreciate the time as always. Best of luck, best of health, and of course, as Beyond the Barracks continues, we'll bring up offensive line coach Phil Gard next. But you going to hang around watch a basketball game?
Oh, actually, I have another appointment with our seniors tonight.
All right.
I'm going to make sure that our seniors, we want to take care of our seniors and do them right.
All right, you're listening to Beyond the Barracks here on the Citadel Bulldogs Radio Network. Back with more after this. And we're back on the Citadel Bulldogs Radio Network, and our guest now is Bulldogs offensive line coach Phil Gard. And Phil, let's talk a little bit about this game that happened last Saturday. I mean, everybody that I've seen around the program and everything else, look, you see so many kinds of games at all your different stops and all that, but every one has its own kind of signature, and that was as great a game as I've ever called.
Exciting.
I mean, it was,
to say the least. That one was, one of the more memorable ones I've been a part of, especially being the fashion, 28 points in the fourth.
Right.
And I got to say, the guys never gave up. They never thought we were going to lose the game. But next thing you know, there's 12 minutes left in the fourth, and you got to get this thing rolling. And they really responded, and it was awesome just to see them having fun, flying around there, celebrating with their teammates. It was incredible. It was great.
I mean, people can say what they want, and there's the old Bill Parcells line, your record says what you are and all that stuff, but that's a pretty tough VMI team, especially up front. And they ran the ball pretty well. They had a couple really good receivers. There were a lot of things going on there, a lot of talent there. Sometimes it is more than just what's on a team, but they were a handful, man.
Yeah.
It almost got out of hand.
And I think when you get in games like that, no matter how good or bad each team is, that is always going to be a game.
Right.
Or it has a chance to be a game.
You'll throw out the records.
Yeah, exactly. So, you saw it on tape. They're strong. They're disciplined, And really, we just had to out-physical them. We had to just keep battling, keep swinging. And, that's what we ended up doing. And it was a blast. It was a blast.
I was talking to Coach Drayton about it a little bit ago. That it's a little bit puzzling watching this offense because it's like you guys sometimes just can't quite find the accelerator pedal for whatever period of time, but suddenly, whether you're poking around down there on the floorboard in the dark or not, suddenly you find the gas, and once you step on it, you got all kinds of weapons, you got a lot of stuff going on there. It's just a matter, I guess, of trying to harness all of it and put it together for 4 quarters and every week, right?
Yeah, and we tell them, if you guys want to score on the first play, we'll take that too.
Right.
We don't have to wait around till the fourth quarter to get this thing rolling. But yeah, sometimes it is like that, and it takes a while to get it going. But that's our job, is to try and figure out ways to start fast. We have started fast in other games, and that's why it's frustrating when you don't. It's like, all right, well, what's the formula here this time? And it's a matter of getting to it or getting to your adjustment and then making sure that thing can sustain through 4 quarters and win you the game.
Honestly, the run game, and this kind of transitioned a little bit when you guys went back to more of the triple style, a little bit more run-heavy triple style stuff. But your offensive line, how's it holding up? And again, I mean, we haven't seen really much in the way of penalties that you might find in an option-based offense. So how are they holding up?
Oh, they're good. We play about 7 guys regularly. We really do. Who's starting, who's not, that could change week to week, but it's really more about what are we doing. Okay, this guy's starting. And we got 7 guys that, I mean, they're all starters in my mind. And we just try to put them in position to go. And they've done a great job of that. I mean, they don't care if they're the starter that game or if they're getting in the 3rd series, the 1st series, and they handle adversity. They keep coming back, and they're a young group, which is, different.
Right.
We have some older guys. We have Sawyer, we got Matrosky and Mike Bartolucci, obviously, as our seniors, but the rest of those guys are coming back.
Right.
And they got to learn how to win and battle through adversity, and it's been cool to see that.
How much do those 3 guys you just mentioned, how is their impact on these guys that are going to be coming back? And how much of a difference have they made?
Yeah, I mean, their impact is unreal, especially a guy like Mike Bartolucci. I mean, the leader of not only the O-line, but one of the leaders of the offense and the team.
Right.
And always knowing what to do and how to do it, when to do it. And, he's physical, he's tough. And when you get a job like I got here in February, and you got a guy like Mike Bartolucci, it makes it a lot easier.
Right.
I'll tell you that. And just his command and his recall of certain plays and certain games, it makes it easier and more fun to coach.
It's cliche, but, it's the old coach on the field thing after a certain amount of time. And you can kind of see that just in the way he plays and carries himself around practice and everything else. This game upcoming, Ole Miss, it's like I was talking to Coach Drayton about. Everybody knows, these games are a little bit different dynamically. You don't approach them any differently, but obviously in terms of what you try to get done, the things you try to accomplish and all of that stuff, it doesn't change from one week to the next. But what are your thoughts on these kinds of games? Obviously for these kids, it's going to be a great, exciting opportunity to go play in a great big SEC stadium that's noisy as can be and, see all that stuff firsthand and be out on the field against one of, the 2nd or 3rd ranked team in the country. Yeah,
no doubt. And it's not North Dakota State 2nd or 1st ranked team. It's the FBS. And the expectation is to win. I mean, it's a game on our schedule that we need to go win. And it's going to be an experience, and I think that's going to be great for a lot of our guys. But we don't talk about the experience on Tuesday game plan meetings or Monday game plan.
Yeah, if you approach it any other way, you'd be doing it wrong.
So the expectation is to go put our best foot forward and win the game. Be able to run the ball, protect and throw the ball, and do all the things that we can do consistently, and try to get a jump on these guys and let's give it a go.
Well, Phil, we appreciate the time as always, my man. Best of luck. Let's get him.
Yeah, thank you very much. Always appreciate it.
All right, Phil Gard, the O-line coach here at the Citadel, spending time with us here. Back with more after this. You're listening to, well, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and hang out for just a minute because we have to put a bow on the Coach's Show here. Beyond the Barracks is presented, of course, by Cutwater Spirits. Tip of the cap tonight to our friends, because we're not there, at Over the Horizon Brewing, where we normally are on Monday nights, and we'll certainly be back there next week after the Ole Miss game, and I will look forward to recapping that one, and then looking ahead to getting back into conference play. The next home game against Wofford will be homecoming, and the Dogs, look, you still got a chance to go win 6 games this year, and that's what they're hoping to do, maybe 7. And we'll certainly find out. All right, that'll do it for us here. Stay tuned. In a couple of minutes, we will be back here with the pregame show for the Bulldogs basketball team against the Erskine Flying Fleet here at McAllister Fieldhouse. Our thanks to Joe Mack, as well as Will Brown back in the studio, Terry Bass also. Also want to say thanks to, of course, Coach Drayton and Phil Gard here seated to my right. And we will talk to you in about 4 minutes. Back with more in those 4 on the